This is a true story told to me by my uncle. It's not your typical ghost tale filled with screams and curses. This one is different. It's personal and unforgettable. It was November 17, 1996. I was 21 and driving to my grandparents' house in Somwarpet, a hilly village in the Coorg region of Karnataka. I had started late from Bengaluru and got delayed due to a flat tire. By the time I neared Somwarpet, it was almost midnight. There are two routes to reach the village. One goes through Kushalnagar and Madikeri, the longer but safer highway. The other, shorter path winds through Suntikopa, Kanbale, and Ballura, quiet, eerie stretch after dark. Since I was behind schedule, I took the shorter road. Around 11:30 p.m., just past Ballur, I noticed a girl standing by the roadside, waving her hand to stop me. There was a slope on one side and scattered houses barely visible under the starlit sky. She looked around 16, wrapped in a faded shawl over a simple churidar, with an oddly serene expression. She came to the passenger window and said, "I need to get to Somwarpet. Could you drop me, please?" I was tired and lonely, and since it was on my way, I agreed. She got in quietly. Her name was Mira, she said. She had missed the last bus after visiting her uncle in Ballur. Her reason for the urgent return? She had school the next morning. She was in 10th standard. We spoke as the road twisted through the forest. She seemed mature, intelligent, kind, and calm. Too calm. About an hour later, just before Somwarpet, she asked me to stop near a narrow trail leading into the woods. "That's where my house is," she said, pointing beyond the trees. I offered to walk her home, but her tone suddenly shifted. "No need. This is enough. We'll meet again." Her expression had changed, distant, unreadable. Something told me not to press further. She stepped out, gave me one last look, and disappeared into the forest. I reached my grandparents' home a little past midnight. When I told them about the girl, their faces stiffened. "You stopped in that stretch?" my grandmother asked. "Nobody goes there after dark. That forest has a story." I laughed it off. But 2 days later, while exploring the town, I visited a secluded part of Somwarpet with a local friend who introduced me to a farmer living at the edge of the woods. As we spoke, I casually asked if he had a daughter named Mira. He stared at me for a long moment. "Mira was my daughter," he said quietly. "She passed away 10 years ago in an accident. She was coming home from Bellur that night." I felt like the ground slipped from beneath me. I visited his home, and on the wall was a photo, a garlanded frame of the same girl I had met in my car. Mira. Chapter 3. Return of the Spirit. 3 years passed. Life moved on. But I couldn't forget Mira. In 1999, I found myself driving the same route, again deliberately, passing Ballur at the same time, 11:30 p.m. on November 17, and there she was, standing under the same tree, calm as ever. Without a word, she opened the car door and got in. "You know the truth now. Aren't you afraid?" she asked. "No," I said. "I know you meant no harm." We spoke deeply. She told me that after her untimely death, her spirit remained in Bhuvaloka, a realm between the living and the dead. Because she had died young, suddenly, she couldn't progress forward until her destined lifespan ended. "Why me?" I asked. She smiled faintly. "You were open to me. Maybe there's more between us, but I can't say." Years later, I was about to purchase a flat on the outskirts of Mysuru. Everything was set paperwork, loan, deal. One night, I went for a walk on the building terrace. As I turned, I saw her. Mira. She didn't smile. She didn't waste time. "Don't move into that house," she said. "It's not right for you." I asked why, but she wouldn't say. "Please trust me," was all she added before vanishing into thin air. Later I found out the previous owner had committed suicide. Before that, there was a murder-suicide in the same unit. In 2005, Mira appeared for the last time on September 10. She told me it was time for her to move on to the next realm. "We won't meet again," she said gently. "But thank you for listening." She smiled for one final moment and disappeared into the air. I never saw Mira again, but I think about her often. What was our connection? Why did she choose me, of all people? I may never know, but I know this. Not all spirits seek revenge. Some just seek remembrance. Some protect. Wherever Mira is, I hope she's free, at peace. And maybe, just maybe, she remembers me, too.